Hi, and welcome back to the video series of Buy-to-Let Basics in 2023. Now, this is the second video in the series, so if you've not watched the first one, you might want to go back and watch that one first. But essentially, in this video, we're going to be concentrating a bit more on below market value. So that's looking at how you ascertain what the value, what the market value is of a property. How you work out kind of what discounts you could potentially get, and also looking a little bit into leverage and interest rates and how you calculate those numbers. So let's jump in and I'll share my screen. So if we just jump into Rightmove here, and I'll just let's just say we found this property, we're interested in it. It's up at £395,000. How do we know that this property is is at the right value? How do we know that we're not getting we're not paying too much for it? So you can see it's already been reduced on the 17th of March. If we just go back a page, go back into that one, because it normally gives us an indication as to what it was doing. So here you go. Yeah, so you can see like a bit of history. It's a little green arrow here shows you that it first came onto the market in 26th of January, and it came on at 410,000, and then on the 17th of March they've reduced it to 395, and it looks like it's just kind of sat there since at that sort of price. But still, we don't really know whether that's a good price or not, to be perfectly honest. So how do we find that out? Well, there are a few ways of doing this, but one of the easiest ways is to look at the history of the property and look at the history of the properties in the area. So if you scroll down to the advert, you'll see here it says property sale history. So this gives you an idea of what the current owners actually paid for the property. So you can see that in 2014, they paid $227,950 for the property. So you can kind of look at it and go, okay, what was that 9 years ago? Is that increase, from 227,950 to 395? Does that seem realistic? I mean, what you don't really know is obviously what the condition of the property was when they bought it, how much work they've done on it, that sort of thing. But gives you a bit of a steer, gives you an idea of where you are. Probably the more interesting one is this recently sold and under offer. So if you click on this, and then what I always do is click on view all recently sold. So what this does basically is it shows you all the purchases for the properties in that area. And again, you can filter this a little bit. So you might, if you've only got a few examples coming up, we know that this property is like a semi-detached. It's end of terrace, so let's just put semi-detached in. And it's only shown us 8 properties. So let's just open the area up a little bit to within a quarter of a mile, which is where, that's probably quite safe to sort of do that. And then let's change this to price descending. So you can sort of see that, this one here, number 201, in June 2021 sold for 430. Unfortunately, there isn't a picture of it, and we don't really know kind of how many bedrooms or anything there is. So you could click on that and do a bit more research. Maybe find it on Google Maps. Go and have a look at it. There's one here, 159. So that's a 4-bed semi sold for 420 in March 21. So this is a 3-bed semi sold for 420 in April 22. 3-bed semi. So you start to look at this and kind of go, is that price they're asking realistic? I mean, 4-bed here, 375,500 in August 2017. So that was a few years ago. So it's 6 years ago, sold for 375,500. So you probably say actually what they're marketing at seems like a reasonable, price actually. And if you wanted to know a little bit more about the condition of these properties, you can always click on them and go into the photos and look at the condition, because it could be that they've been sold cheap or cheaper. The property needed work. You never know with these sort of things. So you can start to build up a bit of a picture as to what you think the value of the properties are in the area. One of the other ways you could do it is talk to some local agents as well. So that this property is up. Let's go back to the property description. So this is up with alternative estates. So you can maybe talk to some other agents in the area and find out, is the value of this property reasonable for this, for this area? You just ask some questions and say, I'm looking to buy a 4-bedroom house in this area. What price range do you think I should be looking at? Or if I was to buy this house and do it up and remarket it, what would it be? What would be worth? And then one of the other good ways of being able to sort of figure out how much work needs to be done to a property is the EPC. So each property that comes to market should have an EPC that has been done for it. And the EPC is the energy performance certificate, but it kind of tells you, it gives you a bit of a gauge as to how much work has either been done on the property or how much work needs to be done. Excuse me. So if it's a band C, it's not bad. It's a pretty good rating, so it should be in fairly good condition. Probably means they've had things like windows changed. The roof's probably been insulated. The doors are in pretty good condition. It's got a decent central heating system. It's reasonably energy efficient. Whereas if you found something that was like an F or a G, it probably means it needs a fair amount of work to kind of bring it up to standard. So when you're looking at below market value, you're trying to figure out, well, what does that sort of mean? Like I say, recently in previous years, it's been very difficult to get stuff below market value because the market's just been so crazy that people have been selling things and sometimes exceeding what the market value is. But effectively, if you can get something, if you're looking to get something, 20-25% below market value, that would be a very good deal. If you could get something that was genuine, the genuine value of it was let's say the genuine value of something was, let's say it was 100k, and you managed to get it for, let's say you got it for 90k. Let's say you put an offer in, the vendors wanted to move, you managed to get it for 90k. So you've got it at a 10k discount. So what effectively you're doing is, £10,000 on £100,000 is essentially a 10%. So what you've effectively got is, so if you hear somebody say, 10% BMV, that's kind of what they mean, is you've basically managed to secure something 10% lower than what we think the market value is. So that's the market value. This is the offer price. And that gives you an idea of what BMV is. Like I say, in the current market, it's difficult to say really, but I would suggest you're probably around, but you should be able to get things around sort of 10% below market value, 15%. Like I say, if you can get stuff 25%, brilliant, because it means that, and we're going to touch on this in another video, but if you can get something 25% below market value, it probably means that you can buy it and then refinance it without leaving hardly any of your money actually in that investment, and that's where things start to get really interesting. So join us on the next video where we'll dig a little bit deeper into some of the figures around mortgage interest rates and rental coverage. Okay, thanks for watching. All the best.